Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Disney slash movies from the 2010s month. It's my sister's birthday, so happy birthday to my sister. But before that, before I get to the review, I'm going to be reviewing hopefully all three of the Hobbit trilogy because the original Lord of the Rings films came out in the 2000s, so I can't review those now. But I'm going to start with the first one. This is only the theatrical cut because that is the only version I saw of it, and that is The Hobbit, the Unexpected Journey from 2012. This reintroduced me back to the Middle Earth, and it was a great film. It was a great experience in the theater. I saw this with a big crowd. I was really anxious because I didn't see that a year before I saw the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the extended editions, and I was very impressed with those. So I said I want more Middle Earth, and then they announced The Hobbit, and it was going to be a trilogy instead of just one movie, and I was fine with it. I thought the casting was really great. It's too many people to count, so I'm just going to mention the main character. Martin Freeman plays Bilbo, a young Bilbo Baggins. He's fantastic. He's got comedic timing. He's got good chemistry with the cast. He's a really likable lead. And yeah, it's a lot of Brits, Irish people, Scotsmen. It's a bunch of foreigners, but it's still a really good story. I found that yeah, The Hobbit, at least he's front and center. I know it's more it's more interaction with him and the dwarves, which become they're a family, and they're looking for their lost gold, and they have great songs. That the Misty Mountain Cold is a great song. I love that song when they're singing and when they're eating Bilbo's food. I remember that song. The special effects, I know there's a lot of CG. A lot of people had a problem with that, but hey, it's 2012. It was many years after the first Lord of the Rings. So I wasn't expecting Fellowship of the Ring. I was expecting something different from Bilbo's perspective. They do show a scene with Frodo in the beginning, just to connect it to the original trilogy. They show Ian Holm playing for old Bilbo Baggins, and then they show him young. And I like Martin Freeman. I think they did a great job. I like seeing him in Civil War last year. He was a pretty good character for being non-American in that and doing an American accent and being awesome. This is the first film I saw with him after the disappointment, which was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I didn't care for that. I thought he looked like a British Tom Hanks with a bathrobe. Yeah, that was not the Martin Freeman I wanted to see. Here, he's very likable. I like him as a lead. This is before the sequels where they put more characters like Smaug and what Legolas and Evangeline Lilly's character who looks like Princess Zelda. I'll get to that one, but the first one was really good. I thought Unexpected Journey was a welcome surprise. I know a lot of critics were mixed because they were expecting more out of Peter Jackson. It's the first in a prequel trilogy. At least it didn't have the same trappings that people found with Episode One. Just saying. I think this is better because it's better acted. Definitely, there's no silly there's some side characters like there's the besides Gandalf who smokes a pipe with this other guy. I forgot his name. He has bird crap on him. Yeah, it's kind of silly. He rides on rabbits, CGI rabbits into the woods. But I like the visuals. Like the visuals just sucked me right in. You still have a lot of references to the Lord of the Rings. You have the scene stealing Gollum in the cave. The scene with him and Bilbo in the cave. Best scene in the movie in the Unexpected Journey. Just like I love that scene with Bilbo and with freaking whatchamacallit, Gollum. Andy Serkis is fantastic as his character. Seeing him again, I think the CG looks even better than back into 2000s. It's my opinion. I think he looks more like, he has more layers to him and the eyes are much, more expressive. And it's really well done. I think the film, it's really long. I know there's a lot of subplots that kind of, are padding, like the scenes with the trolls that want to eat the dwarves. I get that. There's I think the scenes with the eagles and when they're climbing the mountain, I get all that, but it's fleshed out. I think all the characters work. They're like the seven dwarfs, but there's more than seven. There's like I think 12 of them. I believe I don't remember all their names. It's just Thorin. I know him. He's the lead dwarf with the black hair, and he's basically he wants to become king. And of course, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it leads up to the Desolation of Smaug, which is fantastic. It's one of the best sequels I've seen in a while. But the first Unexpected Journey, I think, is a solid film. It's really long. I know it has a lot of subplots that kind of are not needed. They could have been like uh, basically, deleted scenes or just scenes in the extended cut, which I have not seen. But the story worked for me. I love the visuals. I like the cast. I like the costume design and the makeup. I like the setting back in Middle Earth. New Zealand looks fantastic. The score is fantastic. It is a what was it? It was something like that. It's not as good as Lord of the Rings, which is I love that score. Just the musical score is amazing. I love the soundtrack. Uh, it's just a really solid story. If you want to see a prequel that's different from the Star Wars prequels, but it's longer and it's got better acting, but it also has ways that it connects to the original films, I would say to give the Unexpected Journey a watch. I would recommend, because I've only seen the theatrical version, see the theatrical version. Because I don't think the extended cut is much. Just like a few more minutes of scenes. It's not like it's an extra hour or anything. It's just a few more scenes that I haven't seen. But it was a start of a good trilogy that I think is very underrated, because a lot of critics were very mixed on it. Some people said it was garbage. I was like, no, I think this film did just fine. For a prequel, it started it on the right foot and it got excessively better, especially Desolation of Smaug to me is the best of the three. I did like Battle of the Five Armies. I thought it was really epic, a lot of stuff. They did show the orcs here, but they look different from the original because it's a prequel. They're like albino orcs that speak a language. That's one thing I did not care for in any of the Lord of the Rings slash Hobbit films. I don't care about these other languages that they speak. I don't want. That's one pet peeve I've had with all six movies. I don't want to read subtitles in a fantasy film. Just saying. I know it's the Elfin language and the Orc language in the books, but it's never been for me. I don't want to watch a movie where I have to fast forward a scene because they're speaking in another language like oh, I'm like, no, I don't need that. That's just padding. Don't want to read subtitles. It's not an anime. Just get on with it. But other than that, it's an epic story, and I'm fine with this movie. It's a good movie. It was one of my favorite films of 2012. I thought one of the underrated ones. People said it was horrible. I don't know which version of the movie they saw, but it's a really good film. I would definitely say watch it. At least one watch is worth your time. And while it's flawed, it's still really good. And it was my third favorite movie of that year, behind the Avengers and what was the other one? I think the what was the I forgot what the other one was, but it was still a really solid film. It was in my top five, really good, and Peter Jackson did a great job. I don't care what people say. Oh, it's over budgeted. It's too long. People want to bitch about everything. Okay, there's people that bitch about The Dark Knight, and I'm one of them. And I still think the movie's good, but it's not the greatest thing ever made. It's just a good movie. But The Hobbit, it deserves more attention. I think I definitely need to get it in my collection. I haven't bought it yet. I need to, because it's been too long since I've seen it. But I remember enough to review it, so it's a good one. Unexpected Journey gets a thumbs up. And this is the 2012 Hobbit film, not the animated film that came out in the 70s or whatever. It's the Peter Jackson version. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on The Hobbit, the Unexpected Journey, the first one. And my next review will be Desolation of Smaug, a solid sequel. So I will talk to you about guys about that next time. Later.